Hello, everybody. Today I'm here with the second set of levels for the new update for Dr. Mario World. And we'll start out here just trying again to unlock any new characters. Of course, if Lemmy and Boo showed up, that'd be great. But don't keep your hopes up. And we're going to be going through the levels. I had a hard time with most of these, I think. I think 2 of them I cleared on the first try. And the other ones took a bit. So I've definitely had more trouble on levels in the past. It's just that the ones that I beat here, I cut very close, even with characters like Wario, and sometimes even bringing characters other than Wario. But obviously here we're going to switch Koopa Troopa out from the previous episode and put Wario back in. And this first level, I feel like I recognize, and I don't know if anybody else recognized it either. It's probably just very similar to a level we had before. I doubt that it's the exact same level. Or who knows, they may be relying on us forgetting that we've played these levels before. But anyways, the main part of the beginning is just getting those locks as quickly as you can, because once you hit the locks, then you can actually start playing the main part of the level. Keep in mind as you go that you don't have to hit all the viruses. I think it'd probably be impossible at this point to clear everything, or especially when the flasks are spawning in more viruses as you go. But the main point of this level is to hit all the coins, which means that at some point you need to have everything away from these blue coins, and then you need to hit all these blocks a good amount of times. And I played this one a few times, and I basically did the same thing each time, and eventually it just worked out. There's a lot of luck involved sometimes. The flask can also spawn bombs. I think that's the only other thing they can spawn. But what am I trying to say? Most of the time they will spawn in viruses, which can go near some of the blocks that will help you actually hit them a few more times. But the main thing that I had trouble with was just I would end and I'd have like a single block that I need to hit again, and I just was out of capsules. And that happened a few times, or the 2 times that I played, it was very close, and I just didn't have the right amount of capsules to hit a final block. But clearing out the blue coins, basically just hitting the viruses around them, and focusing on one at a time, I'd also suggest. And once you get rid of that blue coin, then you never have to go back to that area as long as there aren't any blocks or anything. So here when I hit this bomb, this red bomb here will clear out this blue coin for me. Whenever I do it here, in a second I would have to assume. I'm also going to want to hit this green one in the middle because that one's almost cleared. And if you're very close to clearing one, I would suggest just doing it, because if you wait for a while, it might get covered up by the flask or some floating viruses like right there. The blue one spawned in. Now luckily they were next to each other, but that won't always happen. So here I bring in the green there, and then this red one will open up that blue coin for me. Now I just got a few more blue coins and then a few more blocks to hit. And it really doesn't look like all that much with a lot of capsules remaining, but I'm pretty sure it does take a while yet. I need to hit the blocks that are left over 4 more times, which means to these 2 left here, I'm going to hit a few more times, and then as well as moving that red one there out of the way. Luckily nothing spawned in there yet. As I bring it in here, it actually spawned, oh, never mind. I think I had a round previous where it spawned right back in that same spot, so then I had to clear it again. But luckily it moved out of the way and I don't have to worry about it anymore. Now I just need to bring any colors that either correspond with the virus near the blocks or just any extra colors. Bring them towards the blocks and hit them. Some red ones line up nicely up towards the top here that I can try and bring down if I get a single red capsule. There we go. Now I just needed this blue one, and it's over. So I did kind of have plenty of capsules left over, but keep in mind the previous 2 levels I barely lost. So with Wario it does seem to work pretty well. Wendy would probably be a little bit easier, but you'll be out of blocks really quickly, and might run out of capsules as well, just because of the ratio of that. But this is one of the levels that I beat right away. Again, if we had one of those data mine characters that we saw that has a new ability, this level would be a lot easier for sure, but that character does not exist yet. So for the most part at the beginning, you're just breaking your way through as quickly as you can, avoiding hitting the bubblers as much as you can. Of course you're going to have to, but the bubblers seem to target the things lowest first. At least that's what it seemed to do for me. I'm not sure if it always does that, but that's just what it seemed to do. Now here I got a really cool thing where I was able to get all three of these greens hit at the same time. It was satisfying at least to do that. Now, if something isn't bubbled, I would recommend hitting it as quickly as you can. Well, as much as you can, avoiding hitting the bubblers. But obviously things are going to get bubbled, but that may actually help out because some of these blocks need to be, or I guess I shouldn't say some of them, all of the blocks need to be cleared out as well. And some of the ones that get bubbled will actually make it a little bit easier to clear some of the blocks. So sometimes it actually does help, because these ones that are iced are going to take a while anyway, so if there are some viruses near them, it will be a single less hit from your capsules. You just don't have free reign over which capsules you bring down. You obviously have to match the color of the virus. Now somehow I got these blues all line up really nicely. It's only going to hit one block by doing so, but obviously I'm going to want to go for that at some point. I don't remember exactly what I do here. Oh yeah, I stuck in some blues here to get a free green, and then luckily nothing spawned in to disrupt that cool blue stack I had. And now I'm going to go work on this side while also bringing down some colors over here because I don't have to worry about what colors anymore. Now this blue one falls, which ends up working nicely with this corner block that I will have to work on. Now I would suggest either going for the red or the blue first because something is going to get bubbled in the process here. Luckily I got that bomb to line up with the red, which made it very easy to clear. And now that final blue one is going to hit that block. One more block will do it. All I need is just a few colors to match up. And obviously plenty of capsules and plenty of points as well. So again, one of the easier ones. And this next one I think was fairly easy. I just messed it up on the first go because if I'm being honest, the shell spawn points were not lucky for me, and if you get an unlucky round you might fail as well, but if you get a pretty lucky round you should do fine. So this one at the main for the main part, you're just hitting this cannon right away, and I wouldn't suggest trying to do anything else. Just go for the cannon and all of these viruses will move. Now the thing about this is, the thing you're going to be working on for the most part is these keys at the top that are all frozen. And if you can hit them right now when things are all stacked up nicely for you, I would suggest doing that. But it's really hard to get in there, it's pretty cramped. So you probably won't end up hitting very many of them, if any at all. And as you can see, I'm already getting rid of a lot of the viruses that were up there. And now it's already making it harder for me to work on all those things. I really should have placed that double blue up there and hit all three of those coins for one hit. That really would have saved me a lot of time. But there is a strategy that I have for this level that I'll show you in a bit when I actually start implementing it. And I've used a similar strategy before, just not in the same kind of context. So I'll explain it as we start doing it. But right now I'm mostly working on this side with all the coins, because once I get rid of that, I feel like it's just one less thing to work on. There are a lot of viruses over here, and if I can just clear everything out, then all I have to worry about is these frozen keys on the left side. So I kind of just mainly work on this for a while. Now I believe I'm going to start doing my strategy. So the strategy is placing things on the door, but in a specific way. So as you can see, I just did it there, and I'll do it multiple times, so I'll explain it some more. Basically, you're going to want to line up two of the same color on the door, and then the next color up is either the color corresponding with the virus above it, like I just did there, or just any color that you have remaining if there's no virus around it. So right here now I'm placing these reds. Now what you're going to want to do is make sure to get a green ready to go, so that you can clear out everything that's in front of the door there so that the key can fall freely. And if you do this every time, the key will fall without anything getting in the way, and it just makes for a much easier experience. Now clearing out the stack that you made unfortunately makes it hard to get back to the key, but I feel like they give you plenty of capsules that it won't be a big deal to do this over and over again. You can, however, use the stack pile with the key on top to get to the keys above it a little bit easier, and then just clear that out as well. Those are both viable strategies, and there's no visuals of that second strategy that I just explained because I didn't actually use it in this video, but I feel like this is a pretty good strategy. Now that I think about it, the other strategy might be a little bit better, but this is still viable as well. So here again, I clear those blues, and now I hit the green as well, so that the key can fall without anything hitting it. Now this virus landed in a kind of nice place, but really it doesn't matter all that much. Now I just need to build up some reds, and I do it on the side here, so I don't really even need to do that strategy this time. If I just do it that way, then the key will fall on its own. So there are a few different strategies you can try. Obviously the one in my video does work if you have a good amount of capsules to do so. You can do it a few different ways though, and I think you should do fine. Those keys are really going to be the hardest part though, so as soon as you can start working on those, I would highly suggest doing so. Anyways, let's move on to the next one. Another one that I beat on my first try. And this one felt like kind of an easy breather, honestly, compared to the rest of the levels. And at the beginning they give you the colors so that you can get all those cannons right away. At least I believe so. There's no way that I got lucky enough to get all the colors that they wanted me to. But that just opens everything up here in the middle. And that's when you kind of go like, oh, okay, I see what they're going for in this level. So again, you can kind of use the same strategy that I used in the previous level, where you stack up two of the same color, like I stacked those reds together, so that when I end up clearing that blue on top of the reds will clear with just another single capsule. And I would recommend doing that for this level no matter what you do, just because it makes it a lot easier to clear in the long run. Of course, it won't always work, and if there's a way to clear things without that strategy doesn't really work out, don't kind of get caught up on that. Just keep it in mind that it's a pretty good strategy to use when you're doing something like this, when you have to build up stack to the same color, because when you go back it's a lot easier to clear in the long run. So I have most of this last key is the only one I have to get into the door, and then the final thing I have to do is get down to these colored crates, clear them all out, and then get the viruses underneath. And the flasks are spawning in more colored crates, so if you do let the flask spawn in too much, it may end up covering it even more than I had it. So kind of keep that in mind as you go. You might want to go for those right away as well, in case you're worried about the colored crates bothering you. But otherwise, once you get rid of most of the colored crates, they won't really spawn in, specifically in the areas that you don't want them to. It'll be a bit more random. Of course, they still have the chance of going down there in your way, so just keep that in mind as you're placing capsules, not to place too many. So here I try to kind of get rid of this red one so that I can place a blue or a green in between the two greens, and now I just have these final two blue ones. I decided to hit the blue block first, I believe. Never mind. I hit the character first and then I go for the blue block, which will of course spawn in some more of the colored crates. Now luckily I had greens next to the green one that spawned, so I can just put those greens there. If it was another blue, it would have taken a little bit longer, but I think I still would have had enough points either way. I mean, I just had that final blue one and cleared out. Keep in mind all the colored crates do not need to be cleared to beat the level. But that was that one, and we're moving on to the final stage for today. And this one's pretty tough, but if you bring in Larry, it's basically an entirely different level. If you've not tried it with Larry, try it, and you'll see it in this video here. If you beat it without Larry, congrats to you, because that's kind of an achievement. But Larry just makes this a completely different level. Basically, you want to keep spawning in. I guess I'll explain. The stage only moves when you bring down capsules, and I think it's like 3 or 4 capsules before it moves again. So if you just bring in a bunch of them, the stage will move. And at some points, when there's just nothing on stage, you want more things to spawn in. And if you've ever played this game without, or if you play this level without Larry, you're like fighting to stay alive. There's colored crates at the top of the stage, and you're rushing to get them cleared as quickly as you can. But as you can see here, I just cleared out the entire screen. So I just spawned in a bunch of new stuff and try to get some more things spawned in. And this is like the last layer of colored crates, and then after this it's all regular colored crates. But luckily there are a bunch of bombs down there that will hit most of the crates for you. And we'll see that of course as we go. But yeah, it's just a completely different level with Larry, and if you don't have him, I'm sorry, because I'm not sure how easy or how even possible this level is for you. I'm just being realistic. I played it with Wario and I did not feel like I was close enough to beating it. With some power-ups, though, it would definitely be possible. But with Larry, you're just bringing stuff down. And at this point, the bombs start spawning in. You do not want to hit those bombs until everything is spawned in, because they will do a lot of the work at the very bottom. Whereas if you let them, or if you hit them early, you'll have a lot of crates left over that you'll need to hit on your own. So let everything spawn in first before you start hitting the bombs. Right now at this level, everything is spawned in. After this, it moves up one more, but that's the end of the screen. So at this point, you've got everything that you're going to get. These electric bombs will hit 3 viruses each, so keep that in mind. They'll most likely leave the bottom ones for you to clear, but luckily they make it kind of part of the level there, where you want to clear everything out, and you'll most likely have a crate in each of the corners, and you should get Larry's skill at some point here, which I use to hit one of the crates, and then I can use whatever color I have left over to hit the final crate. And I think that went pretty well. I feel like I made it look kind of easy. I did play this one twice with Larry and lost on the first one. It was very close. But the reason I lost is because I hit a bomb too early, and I just ran out of capsules before I could clear the final crate. So that final bomb is very crucial. Keep that in mind as you're playing. But that's all the levels for this episode. I think the next 2 sets of levels will come out tomorrow, actually. If you're watching this on Thursday, they'll come out on Friday. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon. Goodbye.